here I am looking at the Titanfall beta and giving my kind of first thoughts of it. Now I've played about 7-8 hours of the beta. I've decided to kind of give my own thoughts of it. Titanfall's a game I wasn't really expecting to enjoy, really, considering the makers are ex Infinity Ward, who made Modern Warfare 1 and 2. So it wasn't really a game I was kind of expecting to like because of the ties with the Call of Duty franchise anyway. But it's surprisingly good. Has its issues, has a few issues, but they're mainly things that may or may not be fixed when the full game comes out, i.e. the full game may have everything I'm kind of moaning about sorted into other maps or whatever. I didn't really spend much time in the actual loadout screens or the burn cards because I just kind of wanted to get into the game and show how it looked and how it ran. The game is a Source Engine game, so it kind of runs really well. If you have a laptop or something that can play Team Fortress 2 on max settings, kind of don't expect to be able to play Titanfall, as Titanfall's heavily modified to the point where that nothing of the original code's kind of left, as the team at Respawn wanted to they wanted to kind of get gameplay tests and kind of test ideas out straight away, so they kind of used Source Engine because they knew how to use it. And the game takes as longer to load than it felt like in game. Okay, so apologies for the lack of in-game audio. For some reason my capture software did not capture audio when I was recording this, so if it kind of goes a bit quiet, that's because, well, there's no audio, so it will. Titanfall's pretty good. I really like the free roaming, the wall running element to the game. It kind of adds something that the only other first person shooter I've really seen with that was Brink, and Brink didn't exactly turn out the way we all had planned it. Like we a lot of the people I know anyway in real life kind of thought Brink was going to be something pretty good, and then we got an unfinished mess. Oh, I died. Nice. In terms of the shooting mechanics, it's very Call of Duty, which I'd kind of expect from, you know, the guys behind Respawn, behind Modern Warfare 1 and 2. It's kind of a bit of an obvious statement saying, oh, I'd expect a Call of Duty style mechanics from ex-Modern Warfare developers. That's kind of a bit of a silly thing to say. Though I do not like the Call of Duty games per se, the shooting has always felt very accessible, very easy to get into, and it's a game that you can kind of pick up and play without having skill issues. You know, you can kind of go into a game, kind of have a 5-minute round and do well without having picked up a shooter before. It's not really Quake, it's not Unreal Tournament. It's satisfying, especially for new players. I was killed by the smart pistol there. That's kind of a nice little addition that I haven't seen before. In Titanfall, the whole point is to kill these grunts, kind of like a MOBA, kind of Dota 2, League of Legends, in order for your Titan counter to get to 0. Each player has a 2-minute counter, and when the counter comes to 0, they're available to drop a Titan, which are these great big mechs. It's kind of awesome to see the Titan kind of drop a couple of times, and then when you've kind of seen it already, it kind of stops being like, wow, that was pretty damn awesome too. Okay, that was it. No, it is pretty satisfactory to see like a Titan drop on top of another Titan. I've kind of been trying that one for a while, and I haven't been able to do it yet because for some reason it just hasn't been working. Okay, so I'm about to drop a Titan in a moment, which is the Atlas Titan. There are 8 other Titans in the full game, which is kind of cool to kind of have like more than one, with each stats giving different, I'm assuming kind of different abilities to the Titan as the game goes on. The only thing that really disappoints me a little bit is there isn't really that much customization of the Titan. You can mess around with the weapons and the loadout and its ability, but cosmetically and with the aesthetics of the Titan, there's virtually no customization there at all. But that might be different in the full game. They might be kind of rolling, they might kind of be putting that in at the very last minute. Okay, I think I dropped a Titan here, and then the Titan kind of got destroyed by another Titan. The Titans are pretty cool when you see them fight each other. That's pretty nice. The AI Titan isn't very good, but it'll do. It's kind of nice to see it in guard mode, kind of working on its own and giving the pilot another couple of abilities. Another couple of... No, I'll rephrase that. Another avenue of approach to the game, which is kind of nice. So if your Titan's kind of fighting another Titan, and your Titan's going to go down, you can kind of go around the side, fire an anti-Titan weapon at it, which is kind of nice. Okay, so I'm in the Titan right now, and I don't last very long, seeing as I kind of get outnumbered. The game tells you you're outnumbered 3-1, and most of the time you're not. I've kind of found it's a bit erratic when it tells me these things. The Vortex ability is quite nice. It kind of reminds me of one of the plasmids in Bioshock, and I can't remember the specific one, where you have the ability to, when a projectile is fired at you, you have the ability to kind of fire it back. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Oh, and that Titan went down. That Titan went nuclear. It's kind of nice that, like, when somebody leaves the game, you can kind of, like, the game kind of finds a replacement really quickly. It's so you're not like a man down, and you don't really get any disadvantage for being without somebody for about a couple of minutes, because the game always puts somebody back in the game straight away, which is kind of nice. That never fails to impress me, actually, like, graphically speaking, the way it just kind of drops and kind of creates the cloud of dust where it drops. That's kind of nice. The only real thing that really bugs me about Titanfall is how long will the game keep going, as it's a multiplayer only game, and there's no single player campaign. So it's not like Call of Duty where you get like a 4 to 6 hour campaign and the rest of it's multiplayer. The campaign is multiplayer, which is kind of interesting, kind of gives a Brinkish, going back to Brink again, Brinkish kind of feel. That was me accidentally pressing the rocket key as opposed to pick up the weapon key. But yeah, I mean, Titanfall's kind of really interesting. I don't personally think it's going to set the world on fire as a PC game, possibly on the consoles, as it's kind of been bombarded with Call of Duty titles every single year. But the PC section, we've had games like Rise of the Triad, Shadow Warrior, every Call of Duty iteration, and we've had many great indie titles that are first, which is Rise of the Triad and Shadow Warrior especially, and also Hard Reset, and we've also got games like Painkiller to fall back on. But Titanfall looks okay. It doesn't really look garbage to me, because like I couldn't tell if the game was, garbage or not. In terms of like the technicalities of it, like in terms of like the anti-aliasing, the low-res textures and whatnot. But in terms of, does it look aesthetically pleasing to myself? Yes it does. It looks very functional. there's no real problems with getting caught in the geometry. There's no problems with falling through bits of the map. Even though I did have that the first day of beta, I kind of did fall through the map a couple of times, but it's kind of been fixed. Which is kind of nice because I've tried it like every single time. Okay, the epilogue's happening in which every character has an objective at the very end in order to kind of intercept a drop ship for evac on the losing team. It doesn't really add much. It only adds like a couple of hundred XP to your score, assuming that you can get in the drop ship and kind of fly away. It's not kind of like a win or lose scenario, which is kind of nice. It's kind of there as a bonus. Really sorry for rambling. I'm kind of letting my thoughts go as a kind of like a cohesive train of thought, which is something I do very often. So yeah, the game's coming to an end, so there'll be a couple of more seconds of this. I really appreciate you guys watching this, and I'm really